gate's prepared yet.
You need to try and pick off the units as look at the shields on the mark.
Oh my god, the ball's gonna take him.
Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Paying User and I am joined by HD, and we have another Losers Bracket Round 1 game for you guys. This is from IPL Season 2, and we have Liquid Ret versus NRS RaNgeD. RaNgeD spawning as our purple Protoss at the bottom position. The map is Xel'Naga Caverns, and in the top right corner, we have Liquid Ret. Ret is one of my good friends and an awesome Zerg player. RaNgeD also one of my former teammates and a very good player. So this is going to be an awesome PvZ for you guys, and I can't wait to see what these two players have in store for us.
Yeah, couldn't ask for a better map for a Protoss versus Zerg. I think this is, out of all the maps, a very balanced one, and typically the games can either, they range, pardon the pun, range from short to long, and you can have any type of game really on this map in ZVP. Liquid Ret, Jos de Groen, very, very good Zerg player, and we'll see how he opens things up. He is typically known for his macro style play, and
absolutely.
We'll see if he sticks to his guns and, you know, grabs all those hatcheries all over the map and starts the infestation of the Zerg.
He is a fierce macro player. He has some of the best macro out of anyone I've ever played, and
yeah.
Not only that, it's not like he makes stupid decisions. I mean, sometimes he'll make decisions that aren't the best, but I mean, he's always making good decisions, and his macro is just so fierce that you couple those two things together and it makes for an outstanding player. RaNgeD, a good player in his own right, definitely has good macro, has great micro. One of those players that likes to keep the toss ball real tight, continue to add units into the mix, and you know, slowly pick you apart from there. So, you know, look to see RaNgeD building up on his toss ball. He might have some new builds in store though for the IPL. I was really happy to see him qualify. I know he's been trying to get into some of the major online tournaments for quite a while now, so definitely one of the dark horses of the tournament just based on the names that we've had qualify. I mean, You are seeing the who's who of professional StarCraft 2 players. You know, RaNgeD, not necessarily one of those players that you would think would make it in, but he's certainly put in his due time and his due diligence. He has been practicing so much for the past 6 months, so I'm really glad that he qualified.
Yeah, quite right, Pain User. I mean, when you hear household names, you hear Ret, and you're like, ding ding, I know that guy.
Oh, absolutely.
And when you hear RaNgeD, and you're like, who's that guy? But
well, I know him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as the casters, we should at least know the players that
I totally agree
are
with
the
you,
dark horses, because then we get to bring them some spotlight, and we'll see if RaNgeD can live up to his kind of building up a little bit of hype here or there, and see if he can live up to that, and if he can face off against one of the top tier Zerg players today, that is known as Liquid Ret. Ret is just a fearsome Zerg, and he's already opened up this game with a very early hatchery. Rather than going for the pull gas first, which a lot of Zerg players are opting to do nowadays, he decided to hatch first. And RaNgeD looks like he will be going straight into a Nexus off of one gate. Very risky on this map.
Well, I mean, not when you're playing against Ret. I'm surprised a lot more players don't just immediately go for the pylon block versus Ret. I mean, how can they not have studied his games? He's one of those players that always goes for 15 hatch when applicable. If you let him do it, he will do it.
Yep.
And I don't want to say always, because it's not like a mathematic equation. It's not 100% chance, but more often than not, you will see Ret go with a 15 hatch, and oh, it looks like RaNgeD is gonna get this Overlord, and he does get out of there without taking any hull damage on that Stalker. So very well done by RaNgeD.
Yeah, that's actually a nice way to start things off against a player of Ret's caliber. Gets a free Overlord pot shot and a kill, and now he should be able to get the Stalker out here with minimal damage. He may actually try to micro the 4 Zerglings, but I think that's a losing proposition.
Yeah, I don't know why he was even trying to do that in the first place. All of his shields were gone. There's really no way for that to happen, and we do have a Forge and 2 additional gateways going up here at the Natural, and I'm loving the block so far from RaNgeD. Really just panning out to be a solid wall. He's probably going to add another gateway there between the Nexus and that last gateway, and that will affirm the wall. It will just make it that much more difficult to get by.
Kind of strange cannon positioning here. This is going to actually block the gas a little bit.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want to get it too close to the gateways or the forge. Then roaches would be able to attack it. And on this map, with such a wide space around your natural, you have to be really careful to those roach speedling all-ins. And I love the fact that he's walling the back of his mineral line as well, just creating a little veritable fortress here at his natural. And that's really what you have to do. You have to sim city properly. You have to block all the proper places. And so far so good out of range. I'm really liking this, and he's also getting hallucinate, so he will be able to do a good bit of scouting as soon as that upgrade finishes.
Yeah, and Rhett here is going for roach horns, so as soon as he gets that Phoenix out, he will be able to see exactly what Rhett's up to. Looks like he's going for some +1 missile attacks with roaches. Now, the thing here about RaNgeD is he has, looks like the cannon really doesn't block off the probes at all from mining the gas. So I guess RaNgeD has really practiced this SimCity quite well. He knows everything that he's doing very, very good, and hasn't made a mistake so far. In fact, I can't really find any flaw whatsoever, and picking off that first Overlord in the beginning really helps his game. Now, can he hold the Zerglings that are coming in? His cannons in the back, along with the Stalkers and Sentries, able to really provide some cover fire, and the Zerglings will be warded away. RaNgeD is looking great. His income is on par with the Zergs, and of course, he's on 2 base.
Yeah, well, Rhett going for that gold immediately. I guess you could say he's going for the gold. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, Rhett's gonna take that third, and he will power. And he will power out of that. No, that wasn't funny at all. He will power out of that.
Now that was funny.
He will power out of that and go into his beastly macro mode. He is getting fully scouted here from RaNgeD. RaNgeD will be able to see exactly what Rhett is up to, and that is the beauty of hallucinating and the beauty of Phoenixes.
Phoenixes are just beautiful in general, aren't they? So just finesse. They're so good. Sleek and awesome.
Quick.
They're sexy. I'll say.
Isn't every Protoss unit kind of like that, though? In a way.
So are you saying Protoss are sexy?
I don't know. I think Protoss is the race for people who are concerned with aesthetics.
Ah.
Let's just put it that way.
Indeed. Well, that may say something about Protoss players, or it may not.
I've always been interested on the psych profiles of the different people who play the different races, and then also, you know, like their play styles. Cheesy players versus straight up players, like straight up macro players. I really think that like different personality types would fit into the different categories.
You think
it would be so interesting.
You think the bully that bullied me back in preschool is the type of player that would cheese all day?
Protoss all-inner, MC style.
He does look like a bully.
Doesn't he, though?
Have you seen what he does?
I mean, he's the closest thing to a Korean bully that
to a pro gamer bully.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Still love him, though. He's still a great player. And, you know, not to take anything away from him, I've heard that a lot of it is just his on-camera personality. It generates views. It generates hype, you know, and all those things just add to the scene right now. So it's great to see players bringing personality into the mix.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that's going to continue to catapult esports into the future, and you need those controversial players. That's what makes events exciting. That's what makes you know, certain matchups super hyped up. Now you have all that Idra MC beef.
You don't always want to see players, you know, just winning the game and no personality attached to that. And I agree with you totally. That's what's going to really propel esports to the future, because you want to see the controversy and the drama.
Absolutely.
Anyways, though, as we've gone off on our little rant or tirade on player profiles, it looks like RaNgeD has cleared out the gold rocks, and he may be gearing up for an attack against Rhett's gold as well, which Rhett has quite a few roaches and lings. He should be able to hold this off. His supply is about 50 supply ahead, but those force fields are amazing. Look at that. Force field placement.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's beautiful painting.
Impeccable force fields coming out of RaNgeD. I mean, Rhett just let him get into a very advantageous position, and Rhett able to sneak a few units past those force fields, but losing them very, very quickly here. As soon as these force fields on the right-hand side expire, Rhett will try and make another move, but he's losing so many units here, streaming them all in at once, and oh my god.
I wonder why he didn't decide to fall back. I feel like that was definitely not a good spot to engage.
It's like he's playing Tetris with the Zerg forces or something. I mean, it's ridiculous. Just drawing all kinds of shapes with the force fields, destroying all these roaches and hydras, and oh my god, RaNgeD coming out on top there in such a serious way. I don't know how Rhett's going to recover from this. He's going to have to give up his gold.
Yeah, he's going to lose the gold right now. The hatchery spouts out in a fountain of blood, and now RaNgeD Could he take this game against Red? He just popped the hatchery. Red now in a very weird position. Actually, not even weird. It's just a horrible position. Losing the gold hatch. The Protoss is securing a secret third at the 9 o'clock.
Expansion to the 9 o'clock.
That's
So
sneaky.
smart.
That's incognito. And RaNgeD here is looking great. I would just press this advantage home. He's going to snipe the hatchery again. Red does not get the cancel in time, and Red not able to recuperate. Whoa.
Rhett just falling apart a little bit under this pressure, not realizing, hey, you know, his forces are still right there. You've got to clear out the gold before you can just retake it. And Rhett looks like he's going to try and engage here off of creep. I don't know if this is the best idea for him. He's losing units left and right. RaNgeD able to just clean up that entire army, and oh my goodness, blinking ahead, picking off a few more Hydralisks. And Alex, this is not looking good.
I don't think this is not looking good at all. Unless you're a Protoss fan and you like the sexiness of the Protoss, this is not a good situation for the Red. Red is now having to deal with Stalkers at the natural. Never a good position. He is going to lose this game. RaNgeD is coming in here with all these Stalkers. He's going to be able to pop everything off. And, I mean, there's Zerglings and Roach and Hydras streaming out right now, but they're coming out one at a time. These Stalkers are so powerful. They have +2 weapons. Red is hanging on for dear life. He may have to pull drones off the line, Pain User, and I don't think even that will be enough.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be enough either. There are just so many Blink Stalkers running amok in the natural right now. I have no idea. He should have pulled those drones a little bit earlier on the initial of that fight. Pulling them now at this point is not going to accomplish anything. All of those drones just going down immediately. And GG is called. RaNgeD, at least for game 1, living up to the hype, or lack thereof. Maybe a little bit hyped now after taking game 1 in that fashion from Red.
Amazing game. What an amazing game, and well played by RaNgeD. I don't think I caught one mistake from RaNgeD that game. Everything was seriously, if you could call a perfect Protoss play, that was as close as perfect as you could possibly see on this map.
I mean, it was refined. Yeah, I'll give him that. The force fields, great. I think Rhett made a really big mistake trying to attack at the gold into that choke right in there.
Yeah.
That was just not a good position for him to be in. There were so many sentries, and he'd accumulated all that force field energy.
I mean, even the first attack here, when there was all these sentries right here, and he was sticking to that fight, I feel like he should have just fallen back and let the force fields expire.
Oh yeah,
that would have been the best play.
I think I saw RaNgeD draw an L shape, a square. I think he might have even got the little T shape in there from Tetris. I mean, that was ridiculous. Those force fields were so good, and there were so many of them. They just didn't stop coming. Yeah. He had 3 separate waves of them, and he was able to segment the entire army. So, you know, Rhett needed to play that a little bit more patient. Maybe should have taken the 3rd expansion in the back, which was a little bit safer. Who knows? Nonetheless, Rhett going down 0-1 in the series, and RaNgeD taking a solid, convincing Game 1 win. So don't go anywhere, guys. We will be right back with Game 2. Stay tuned.